The Good Samaritan is found in Luke 10, 25 to 37. This parable begins with a question from a lawyer. You guys know what a lawyer is? Everybody here? Okay. The lawyer asks Jesus, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus responds by asking, "What's written in the law?" The lawyer answers, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and your soul and your strength and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus says, "Yes, you are right," and tells him to do this so that he can live with eternal life. But the lawyer, trying to justify himself, says, "Who's my neighbor?" And then Jesus tells the story of a man traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho who's attacked by robbers. They take off his clothes, beat him up, and leave him half dead on the side of the road. A priest, you guys all know what a priest is, right? Alright. So a priest is going down the same side of the road, right? There's two sides of the road. The priest is going down the side with the half-beaten man. He sees the half-beaten man and goes to the other side and keeps walking. This is a priest. He works in the church. Very important person. Later, a Levite is kind of like a priest, similar. He sees the beaten down man on the same side of the road. He goes to the other side and keeps walking. However, there's a Samaritan man. Samaritans and Jews never get along. They hate each other. Absolutely hate each other. So what happens is, he bandages up the man, he cleans his wounds, picks him up, puts him on a horse. He takes him to an inn until the man is fine. He pays for it. He does everything for him. He hates him. He's the kind of guy that would fight with him. But he helps him and he saves his life. Jesus asks, "Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robber?" And the lawyer answers, "The one who had mercy on him, the Samaritan." And Jesus said, "Go and do like that." This parable has a lot of lessons we can learn from this, but I have 4. Number 1, show compassion. The Samaritan's actions are an example of Christ-like compassion. Despite what everybody else does, those two, the kinds of people always fight, he ignores that. He helps them, like what Jesus did with sinners. He was always with them. He was trying to save them. He ignored what other people said. Another thing that you can learn from this is to live with integrity. The priest and the Levite represent people who know what to do, everyday Christians, but they choose not to act on it. They choose not to help those people who need help. We should be the opposite. We should be like Christ, who went with sinners to save them. Number 3, to love unconditionally. Jesus tells us to love our neighbors as ourselves. This love isn't conditional or selective. We don't just love people when we feel like it, not because we know them, but because we are Christians and it is our job to act like this. Because Jesus showed us this love. Why can't we show it to others? Number 4 is to share the good news. Being a representative of Christ also means sharing the hope and salvation that we found in him. He gave us a chance, so let's give that chance to others. But how do we tie these in with our daily lives? Number 1, in our families. We have to be patient, kind, forgiving. Show love and forgiveness to every family member, even when you think they don't deserve it. Number 2, in our workplaces. Act with integrity, diligence, and fairness. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat your peers like that. And by the way, for kids, this means school. Number 3, in our communities. Engage in acts of service and compassion, whether it's helping a neighbor, volunteering, or just be a good friend when they need you. Number 4, with strangers. You never know what somebody is really going through until you actually know them. So just maybe a wave or a smile at a person can maybe make their day. That would be an act of kindness. In closing, let's remember that being a representative of Christ is both a privilege and a responsibility. Our lives are the canvas that God's love, mercy, and grace are all painted on us for the world to see. By living out the lessons of the parable of the Good Samaritan, we can reflect Christ in all that we do, making a lasting impact on everyone around us.